When patients ask how to look younger without surgery, this is my answer. I'm Dr. Nakasui. I'm a board-certified dermatologist, and I wanted to show some of you some of the newest technology that's come into our office. This is the UltraClear. UltraClear represents one of the biggest changes in laser resurfacing we've had in over 20 years. This is one of the few treatments that can actually improve wrinkles, texture, and tone without the kind of downtime that used to make lasers unrealistic for most people. For years, we really only had two options. CO₂ lasers, very effective, but a lot of heat, a lot of downtime, increased risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Or erbium lasers, more precise, but often not as powerful when it came to tightening and deeper resurfacing. And for a lot of patients, especially people working who are busy, the downtime alone made these a non-starter. UltraClear represents a paradigm shift. Instead of talking about incidental heat that's produced by the laser wavelength, now we're talking about engineered heat. We can control where we have the heat, how much of the heat we want, what depth. All of these things are controlled by the conductor. And so this is something new and advantageous because now we can actually do what we want. UltraClear is different. It is the first real advancement in resurfacing in decades, not just a little tweak, but a totally different way of delivering energy into the skin. Instead of relying on incidental heat, it uses extremely precise microbursts of energy. That means less collateral damage and a very different recovery profile. UltraClear delivers energy differently from traditional CO₂ and traditional Erbium YAG. Those lasers produce a longer pulse width with a large amount of energy to deliver it as quickly as possible to the skin in one shot. UltraClear is different. What it does, it delivers many small, very short duration pulses to achieve similar depth while also controlling the amount of heat that's going to the area. So it's really been a change to how we deliver energy. UltraClear sits in a very different space. You get high precision, but because of how the energy is delivered, you reduce unnecessary thermal spread. So now we don't have to choose between results and downtime. Essentially, UltraClear represents a fusion of the best parts of CO₂ and the best parts of Erbium YAG. Now, patients often ask, what about Botox or fillers? And those are great treatments. We do lots of Botox and lots of fillers here, but they do something very different. They address movement, they address volume, but they don't improve the quality of the skin itself. UltraClear is about the canvas. It's actually about improving the skin, its texture, tone, and fine lines. I've worked with CO₂ and other devices. I didn't need another device. What I was looking for was something that could give meaningful results with a better safety and recovery profile. And that's why I chose UltraClear. We know that if we produce too much heat, this will actually cause a higher risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So this laser is able to treat more skin types because we're able to reduce the amount of thermal impact from the laser. And so this is another reason why I think this laser is really a game changer in many ways, because it not only opens up the door to more patients because the healing time is faster, but it opens up the door to more patients because of their skin color. One of the great advantages of this laser is how adjustable and tunable it is. We can adjust to different modes. So there's the clear mode, which is more of a sanding mode. Then there's the ultra mode, which is more of a micro drilling mode, where we can do a combination of these. We can adjust the pattern to whatever we want, a circle, a square, a hexagon. The size can be adjusted quite a bit in this mode. The coverage can be 0.5% or 5% coverage. And the depth can be 150 microns, or if you want, 1,500 microns. We can also adjust the amount of coagulation, which is the amount of engineered heat that we want. Sometimes we want a max amount of heat, or sometimes we want very little. These are things that we can adjust extremely well. The last thing is that we can change this to laser coring mode, which creates larger drills into the skin. Here we can adjust size, coverage, and depth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some laser coring. So what that means is I'm going to set this device to a state where it will go core deeper into the tissue, for example, the skin. Well, in this case, we're just going to use a wet tongue depressor. So I'm going to set it to 2 millimeters and 5% coverage, and you will see what it does to this tongue depressor. There we go. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. So here, you can see that it actually went through the first tongue depressor and just started to enter the second. So I'm not sure if you can see through it at all towards what's behind it on the one tongue depressor. Isn't that amazing? Okay, now I'm going to set it to something else, which is not the coring, but something more gentle. So we'll set it to clear, 30 microns, and again, we're going to laser. There we go. So in this setting, we were able to basically sand the skin, but we're not going through like we did with the laser coring. Laser coring went right through this tongue depressor, whereas the sanding is just on the surface. So we can control the depth. And basically it's like myself, I would be the conductor that would determine what effects that I want to achieve in each particular individual and for each individual area. There's a lot more nuance to UltraClear laser than I can cover in one video, but hopefully this was helpful. In the future though, I will create more videos. I do want to cover the treatment of acne scarring with UltraClear, cover questions about downtime, and also talk about how we can control the intensity of the treatment so that you can get a very mild treatment with almost no downtime, or you can get a much more aggressive treatment. If there are any specific questions that you would like answered, please leave them in the comment section. I will use those to decide what to cover next. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to figure out what is actually important to you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again.